When you hit the main stage, you were the man in the arena. You didn't take criticism from people in the fucking cheap seats.
It doesn't matter the game, age 5, age 3, the dude is unreal.
Annihilated absolutely everyone.
I don't think I've seen him play a bad game of Halo.
9 times out of 10, the decision he makes is the right one.
He knows what he's gonna do 5, 6 steps ahead.
He's insane mechanically.
He very well might be a robot.
The greatest Halo player of all time.
Hello and welcome. This broadcast is dedicated to the reveal of number 4 today in the Halo Top 25, voted on a couple judges from HCS and a couple other people here and there. But speaking of a couple of people, I'm just going to keep it short and sweet, baby. Let's introduce our panel. Same panel as yesterday. We got Alex Erwin, Nighty Night, Yu-Gi-Oh, Tools Cast, my man Garrett O'Toole, and then Tony Rose, Mr. Why Not Be Reckless, Why Not Be Casting. How you guys doing? We're going to switch it up today. We're going to start with Tony. Let's hear from you, man. Tony, I can't hear you, brother. I'm
feeling great.
Should have started with me.
I feel like this list has been amazing. I feel like it's got everybody talking, and man, I can't say it enough. These videos give me chills. I love watching every one of them.
I feel you. All right, Tools, let's hear from you.
Pleasure to be here, guys. You know, looking great. 90, love the hair this morning.
Yeah, you like
it's
that?
Styling out.
Yeah,
I'm excited to watch some great videos with you guys today. My prediction, I think Snakebite's going to take it today, but man, you never know with this list. It's all over the place. I can't wait to see what video Muggsy and the crew cooked up in the back, though.
Absolutely. And then last but not least, Mr. Alex Erwin, what you thinking?
Man, we are down to 4 players, and they are all great in their own right. Just putting them in different order right now, they could easily... I'd say Snakebite is the one that can't really be considered a number 1. I think the other 3 can. So Snakebite has to be the guy. That is my prediction for today. Royal 2 is the easy fit for 5. Those are the easy ones. It's going to be tomorrow that really is the most difficult.
Tomorrow it does get difficult. We've already mentioned Snakebite, but the other 3 that are on our radar, of course, it's Ogre 2, Pistola, and Lethal. We had Royal 2 land at number 5 yesterday. We're predicting Snakebite today at number 4. And I gotta say, right, you know, that Sentinel roster, I keep thinking about it, and I would like to put something together tomorrow, because I feel like we're going to see the final of the trio land in the top 5, right? I think it's going to be Snakebite today, personally, and then tomorrow I believe that we get Lethal. But we'll see. We'll see if Sentinels gets pulled apart or if they don't. And so, you know, I'm curious, you guys. With Snakebite being the in-game leader that he is, you think that still only keeps him down at number 4, huh?
It's more about the comparison at this point. It's like, look at his track record, look at his career compared to the other 3, and he just hasn't had as big of wins. He hasn't had the rings that the rest of the guys have had. I mean, if you look, he has been more successful longer than Lethal. Lethal didn't have his run until the beginning of Reach. Snakebite was competing back in 2006. He, you know, was dominant as a top 16 player in 2009 when Halo was basically at its peak, and then in 2010 he pushed himself up into the top 6, placing 5th with Warriors, Robbie, Bizzle, Goofy, and Break. Or I'm sorry, Nocturnal Colonel and Break. So that was his big march up to the top, and then as soon as Reach came out, that's when he got his top 3 placing. And he had just had an incredible career. He really has worked his way up to the top. He's been on a million different rosters. And then he got with Royal 2 and Reach, and that's when magic started to happen. So, yeah, Snakebite's career, it's not as great as Ogre 2's or Pistola's, but when it compares to Lethal's, I think you can definitely say that he's right there.
I mean, I think by the end of his career, I think he could overtake, you know, the latter 2. I mean, Ogre 2 and Ola have to be looking out for their spot. One thing I love about Snakebite, like you said, he comes from the AM side. He grinded through the bracket and then became better. Let's see if that rings true. They're number 4 because we're about to get our reveal.
I might be really upset.
Well, let's find out. Let's find.
Pistola! Pistola!
The Wizard.
The Wizard. I can't wait to let's watch this video though, because
I think we lost 90. Okay. Oh, he's good. Okay. Wow. I was scared. 90, think out loud. No. 90, think out loud.
I gotta breathe first.
Look at the clock here. The Rockets on the floor. Pistola's gonna pick
upset.
those up. They want to finish this one
This
strong.
is one of the
3-0.
greatest players.
It's like Pistola's
this
Master
video's
Chief
gonna be
runs faster than everyone. Me and Chris
Let me
just made
just-
eye contact and
just
said,
focus on the
wow,
video,
how did he
bro."
escape that? He runs faster than everyone else.
He takes more bullets as well. I don't know. He might have more health.
I'm so upset.
Pistola quickly became the Wizard because the things that he was able to do didn't really seem possible.
Once they had control of both snipes, though,
They
I
weren't.
feel like they're being a bit more wise with the power weapons.
There's just nobody like him. I mean, Shock's
dominating.
Frosty,
He's an absolute freak
but
of a Halo player. And when you think
Pistola's
of
still
like a
beating
wizard,
those guys.
you think someone who has like magical
I think
powers
Pistola is like my
does
age, bro.
things that
Man's
normal
way too
human
big for
beings
everything.
can't do.
Pistola's like
So when you watched him, you always felt
I think he's
a little
younger.
excited. Something special is going to happen.
With that sniper rifle in his hand, you have to wonder if he can line up a shot. Pistola!
DMR, great job. A little bit of splash damage there, and now
look at
he is rewarded with it.
So many
28 years old.
Produce these moments where you're just
28.
like, how the hell did he do that? Let's run that back. Let's watch that again.
he's a vet.
Our birthdays are 15 days apart.
On Foundry map. I was just getting ready to say, he's so sneaky that he works out so well for this. Look at this, picking up the triple. He's feeling it right now.
Very impressive opening game, similar to what we saw from the likes of Lux, from the likes of
When you
Thompson.
talk about
This
Pistola,
is we have to be talking about as
I don't think
potential
any
winners.
player
Pistola gets the overkill as well.
has ever made a bigger
He's
impact
feeling it.
when it mattered the most. Like in World Championships, he was that guy.
Oh, and he's going to air back up, grab that DMR.
Pistola, he was a freak of nature. I felt like it was
He's
only
been
a matter
called
of
the
time
clutchest
before he was
player
going to
of
win
all time.
championships, and I was kind of surprised to see how quickly you had veterans of the team adopting him and bringing him onto their squad.
He's the best one on this team. Okay, we're gonna talk him out of this team, and we're gonna pick him up on our team. We had to pick him up. We had to.
Yeah, they had Tots on their roster.
And
then they got Ola for Tots, and it was just all over from there.
Standing up and celebrating final boss here, 2010 MLG
Just a legend. A legend.
He
The
comes
world
into
champs.
scene in 2007.
I heard he's gonna start streaming in Infinite, and oh my gosh, bro! Like his personality, his skill, his game style is. I can't wait to watch him
Every
stream.
single event, he seemed to get better and better.
Let's be careful here. He's with Ola. There's one for Ola. Royal 2 versus Ola.
Number 4. That's crazy. I mean, on my list, he's number 1.
Pistola's
I mean, he
elusive
just
playstyle and outgoing
has been winning ever since he got involved in the scene.
Fans and
He got
pros.
third place in the free for
Already a
all
legend.
at his
he
very first
continues
LAN.
to define his legacy heading into his 15th year of competition.
Then he
Your list
won.
was wrong. He's number 4.
When you just watch his perspective, you understand why that team is winning and what is going on. You're just like, wow, Pistola did a hell of a lot with that last leg.
Lethal really is getting first.
The last
Huh?
player alive here on the snipe tower. He manages to pick up a double. He takes down 2 anime players and manages to stay alive momentarily.
How does he stay alive right now?
Without
Like,
a shield, he would totally
Neptune, come on,
out-BR,
man.
outshoot
That
someone
sent him
full
back to
shield.
God.
He would just
That was the play that sent him to God.
Can't hang with the wizard.
What a clutch.
Big win there. On
Every
Nico.
time that you get a kill on Pistola, you've earned it. He will tuck his head, he will run away,
Wins
he
those
will jump
pips.
around.
I remember watching and just being like, dude,
Imagine if Reach released with no blue, no sprint, like off the rip. Oh my gosh.
It did have no sprint.
No blue, no sprint. Like when day 1, no blue, no sprint. Those
Yeah.
V7 settings.
It's absolutely ridiculous. How do you play so smart? You seem to always put up most kills and least deaths for your team. He hits the sniper, the killing frenzy!
Go on, Ola. Find your triple. It's Roy.
Do it.
Oh, he's at it.
Sanctuary, this
Oh,
game.
there's the goat. There he is. There's the goat.
Your Pistola, a triple kill.
While running the flag.
That was the 5th kill right there too.
Looks like it's going to be
Sheesh.
it, as the birthday boy is going to put in
Birthday
the
boy.
and final flag cap. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. You have your 2000.
Wait, whose birthday is it?
National champions
On that day.
Oh, yeah. back to back, going back to back as a world champion. Almost was a global champion.
That trophy's sick. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. Who has that trophy?
Career dating back to 2007, Pistola has recorded over 20 major event wins across 5 different Halo titles, including national championships in Halo 3 and Halo Reach.
Everything just kind of.
I forgot what the stat was, but he was on the first roster,
winning 3 in a row, winning the national championship.
Knock Optic out of the winners bracket finals.
One of those reasons was because we had Pistola.
I think it was like Orlando 2018.
Yeah, it was the MV roster.
We were in the finals against Instinct.
Trippy saying
the TTF game.
Boo Boo?
And he was just like making his way towards their flag, no scoping everyone in his path.
Orlando 2018 was Pistola, Trippy, Boo Boo Doobu, and Saiyan, coached by Hoaxer.
So what was that gear?
They got third place that tournament.
I honestly do not remember him teaming with Trippy,
generally speaking,
Saiyan, and
I'm on Halo.
You getting old.
They teamed together for literally for.
You getting up there?
See him go off. Get really excited.
From January until March, they teamed together.
So that was the team until EG collapsed, and then it all changed around.
Pistola always rose to the occasion.
Pressure's always
Pistola
there.
always.
It's the kind of fun part about it. It's exciting.
Pistola, he was
I loved his
never
attitude
motivated
too.
by
Like
money. He was never motivated.
His
by
attitude
fame.
was like no one else.
Pistola wanted to be the best player in the room.
I think he's the best Halo player to ever pick up a controller.
He is.
I've been doing this for so long. You know, obviously, when you've been doing something this long, you always have.
Damn shame, man.
There's a certain point when you start having doubts about, like, you know, when.
Oh,
when's my
Ogre
time?
2's
When's
about
it
to get
up?
third.
But I guess it's not yet.
You guys have anything to say about that?
Well,
I cannot agree more.
God.
Please don't retire anytime soon. I love it.
Well, I've said a lot of my piece, so why don't you go ahead.
You know, it's crazy to think like how much history would have been changed if Ola never got hurt during Halo 2 anniversary, right? Because he's one of those few people. You know, there's people in different esports that have had the same problems. I think Zuma's the most recent one in Call of Duty who's just as big of a legend as Ola is in his respective field, where they have thumb issues because they've been playing for so long. And he had to take a year break during Halo 2 anniversary. He leaves that Evil Genius roster. I believe Lethal gets picked up instead, and Lethal goes on to have a dynasty with Snipe Down and crew. And you know, it's crazy to think how different everything would be if Ola had never left during Halo 2 anniversary. Maybe he would be number 1 on the list because he would have been just as dominant during Halo 2 anniversary as he was during Halo Reach and Halo 3.
There's also the argument to be said that that roster wouldn't have reached its full potential, because I mean, you gotta give it up for Lethal. You know, Lethal is a badass. I mean, do not take away from Lethal at all. Like, Pistola just might have not been. He just didn't have it. You know, it was his fault that happened. I mean, you know, it's very unfortunate that it happened, but it was his fault. You know, it's his responsibility, and it's on his shoulders, and that's part of his legacy. So, when you compare, you know, that was Lethal's entry, his entry point. I mean, Lethal was already winning events, but, you know, he was dipping in and out, and then finally he found the consistency with that roster, and that really was a major point. So it's good to talk about that. Definitely, that would have changed everything had he but I can't even think straight. Go, Tony.
I think you could definitely make an argument to put him number 3, maybe even 2, and I'm sure, as Ogre 2 said, some people even have him number 1. But I'm going to focus on the positive. I'm going to focus the fact that he is in the top 5. He is a legend in our industry, and you cannot tell the story of Halo without Pistola. When I think of Pistola, I think of a high IQ player. Was it?
Did you see the Envy tweet?
He loves us.
They're on your mentality right now. It's like, he made the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to focus on the positive. The fact that, like, I think of a high IQ player, somebody who, like, and with a lot of high IQ players and people, they're hard to deal with. They'll, you know, a lot of these high IQ players and people will, you know, they'll kind of belittle their teammates, or they'll talk, you know, they'll talk above their teammates and almost discredit them, but not Pistola. Pistola is so smart yet so approachable. everybody loves him. He doesn't diminish your value on a team, and the amount of value that he adds to your team is astronomical. We were talking to McWin, a couple weeks ago, and they just said he's one of the hardest players to beat because he's always making that play that turns the tables. And Pistola's going to go down as one of the greats. You know what? He's number 4 now. I think you can easily make an argument for 3, and I know some people may even make an argument for 2 and 1. But I'm just happy that he's in that top 5, and they didn't put him at number 17 or something.
Oh Jesus!
I'm curious as to how close number 3 and number 2 are. Number 3 and number 4 are. I wonder if there's a big gap between the two, or if this is like,
oh, it crashed.
People are angry.
Oh no.
Because I'm curious as to what the gap is between the two teams. I'm sure we'll find the point somewhere later on, but
somebody pulled the plug. They're just like, you know what? Forget
it's hard. Like it's hard to put Snakebite above him. I can understand it. Maybe with how this list is going, maybe we'll have Ogre 3 and not Ogre 2, and the long lost brother will be found come tomorrow. Because
look at the wins.
This list is getting a little crazy.
Follow the wins. That is a big key element here. The rings. He's got 2 rings. Snakebite has 2 rings, and he also has a second place at rings. He has a second place at a World Championship in 2011 with Royal 2, and then he has wins in multiple titles, which is huge that he was able to keep consistent. He's on the most dominant roster, so Snakebite is he can be in the conversation.
Oh yeah, I think he can for sure.
But in the same breath, if you look at both of their careers, dating back, I'm looking at both of their tournament results on Halo Wiki right now, and you're going to see multiple first places in tournaments. You're going to see multiple games. Like both of them have 5. Both of them have H2A. Both of them have Halo 4, Halo Reach, and going back to Halo 3. Both of them do have that. What I will say is that in Pistola's case, he has a win in FFA in Halo 3. He has in Halo 2. He has a win in FFA in another Halo 2 event. He has also a little bit of a better Halo 3 career. So I can see where people like you, Nighty Night, and other people are going with saying that they think Pistola should be above them. What I'm also looking at is I'm looking at the prize pool, and money matters. Snakebite got $3 million. So Snakebite has made $3 million over his career. And I know you can't, obviously put, all of, the whole weighting of that. But I think that matters, man. When money talks.
No, it absolutely does not matter at all. Like when it comes to competition, sure, maybe your pressure is a little more up, I guess. But when you're still competing against the best of the best, regardless of the money, like even if it's not for money, and you still want to beat the best of the best, like say the fighting game scenes that the titles that aren't that big, people still love and care about those titles, and they want to be the best in the world at them, regardless of the money that's on the line. And it's the same thing in Halo. Like regardless of where our money is at, the best of the best are still going to be wanting to be up at the top. They're all competing and practicing the same way. Like, does it motivate you to want to have a better schedule? Does it give you the opportunity to have more time to play? Yeah, all of those elements are very key. Like Lethal was making tweets about it, and I agree as well. Like the consistency with practice was probably never the way it was in Halo 5. Like Halo 5 was like the peak at which a ton of teams were all practicing regularly with each other. They were getting scrims in. They were playing hard. They knew what was on the line. They knew that organizations and sponsors were coming into the scene. But then you got to think, Pistola was still at the, he was up there at the top. He was on Envy. He was competing and beating Optic online consistently. They had a lot of issues on LAN for whatever reason. They weren't able to close a lot of the LANs. They couldn't beat Liquid a lot of the time. Splice, I don't think they ever had an issue with Splice for whatever reason. But and then they couldn't beat Optic in some tournaments. They did take some pretty big ones. Primarily the one with the fuel rod cannon on midship, which was always a head scratcher to me. But Hook being able to kill Frosty with it and win that 14th game in 2 best of 7s. Oh my God, But
that
yeah,
was some controversy. Wasn't that the one where he shot it all, but there was bullets left? Like he had to reload, and the reload didn't work.
Reload
and he had to go. And Frosty got screwed over on that, right? That's what I recall. Yeah. Oof, man. I forgot about that controversy.
Ola has been at the top for so long, but once you look at the rings, and it really goes into you can see why Snakebite and Lethal are above him. And as far as Ogre 2, we know that Ogre 2 being above him is, he should be number 1, really. I would think all of the judges looking at those names, Golden Boy, Gaskin, Clutch, they would put Ogre 2 at the top. But I do think that there's somebody that has left off some people. Like, I think T-Squared got left off. I don't think anyone left off Ogre 1. But I think in the top 5, I think a lot of people got left out of the top 5 for somebody's list. Somebody left out somebody left out Ola. Somebody left, I think it's the Sentinels. I think Sentinels got put 1 through 4 on somebody's list.
The points weren't really that close between Snakebite and Ola. I mean, it's a substantial enough gap. I'd love to pull up Snakebite's Twitter because I think he just tweeted something hilarious. And I think it's important for everyone to remember: do not attack Snakebite because he's somehow higher on the list than your favorite player.
Yeah, not at all.
I think he's been dealing with a lot of people attacking him because he's somehow higher, which you can make an argument for, like you said, 90. I just think when you look at Snakebite's and Ola's careers, they're very similar, right? It's like both have 2 national championships. Ola's was in 2 different games in Halo 3 and Halo Reach, right? Snakebite's just, I just feel like the H5 dynasty, we just haven't seen that since the final boss dynasty. And I think the Halo 5 dynasty, in my opinion, was even a little bit more impressive than what Final Bosses was, which I think is probably why we're seeing such a big increase on the love that tweet from Snakebite right there. He's dodging all the strays at the moment. But I just think the H5 dynasty was so impactful. It was so crazy to witness. A team started off as hot as they did and never really let up until the very last hour, where a new superstar team of new talent came through and started to give them a work, and then they go back and reclaim the title by the end of Halo 5.
Snakebite is too funny, man. Love that guy. Freaking PJ.
I've been looking at the Twitter results between Pistola and Snakebite, and you guys are both right. I mean, Pistola definitely had the better Halo 2 career, especially when it comes to the FFAs, the multiple wins that he got in FFA.
Halo 3, though. You don't consider the FFAs?
Well, he still had a more noticeable Halo 2 career. But then when you look at the 3 and the Reach, and even the 4, it's very similar. And then where Snakebite really creates that separation is that Halo 4 dynasty that he's on. And again, Pistola had an amazing Halo 5 career, but it's obviously Snakebite had a better one. So I can see why they have him above. I can't wait to see the videos, but there's a lot of people upset right now. A lot.
Yeah, Ogre 2's always had very, very clear and concise tweets about every entry on the list so far. And this one's very much all over the place. In fact, he starts it off with a lowercase t, which all of them started with an uppercase. Yeah, he's just all over the place in this tweet. He's like, the video's awesome, which they are. They're freaking phenomenal, and I love this content. And then he goes in to say that, many know him as the greatest ever. I think a lot of people from back in the day consider him the greatest, but the people that just came in on Halo 5, they only saw Ola at the top for so long, not really dominant in the beginning, not really dominant in the end. And, MCC wasn't really weighted, but he came into MCC and dominated in that too. Like he was kicking butt in that. But Ogre 2 actually has Ola in number 1. He has himself in number 1, but if he said if anyone were to be above him, it'd be Pistola. And he keeps saying in his tweets, Pistola is his GOAT.
And I can understand where Ogre 2 is coming from, but there are different, we can't be like Ogre 2's perspective is the only perspective to look at. We have a new history and things are being made. Too. Yeah.
You teamed with him for a long time and got 2 rings with him.
But I just think we have to look at the new history. And one thing I will say is that Pistola somehow dethrones Sentinels. in Halo Infinite, I think he instantly becomes a number one. You know, like if he somehow pulls up multiple 3 or 4 event wins in a row, like on Halo Infinite, he's just dominating with Envy in that roster, then he suddenly becomes number one. That's the difference between all these guys over on the top. Whatever happens in Halo Infinite will have such an impact on their rankings on the next list that'll come out, I'm sure, in 10 years when Halo Infinite's over.
You know, Sean W brought this up a while ago, and I think even Bobetta is Bobetta Feta is picking it up and doing one of his own, but almost saying that instead of a top 25 list, maybe it might not have gotten as much impressions, but it maybe would have got more positive impressions if instead of doing a top 25, if we just did a Hall of Fame.
Nah,
like a Halo Hall of Fame.
Hard to disagree.
Gotta be bold.
I wonder how. Well, obviously you made your opinion known, but I think that could have been really good. A Halo Hall of Fame, and then you can continue doing this over time, because you know, as you know, new people will continue to get added into it. I really would like to see some kind of Halo Hall of Fame, and for this to continue going. I don't want this to end at the top 25. Once you see first place, I want this to continue going. I want to see cinematics like this going further for new players coming in, come Halo Infinite, because hey, make room. Some Halo 5 players that are right now not in the top 25, they're gonna make it into the top or into that top soon, and I think a Halo Hall of Fame would do them justice.
Yeah, I think a top 25 list is a top 25 list. You know, it's fun, it's interactive, everyone's getting on their list. If you like are seriously hurting inside because your player that you think should have made third didn't get third and got fourth instead, and like you're actually genuinely upset about it, then you know maybe you got to step back and reevaluate where you are on the screen, guys. It's just a list. It's fine, you know. It's like it's there. It's there. There's no disrespect given because one player didn't make it higher than the other. They've all been, you know. It's just what the judges decided. That's just my opinion on it. And I like the idea of having a Hall of Fame, because then we'd maybe get videos for 11 through 25. You know, have get like 5 people introduced every quarter and just start building your Hall of Fame with new awesome videos that Muggsy can make. Because I think that's where the real shame is that we have a lot of players that deserve these types of awesome cinematic videos that we've seen from Muggsy and the crew that didn't get any because they weren't in the top 10. And I'd love to see, you know, that Halo Hall of Fame start to be built and get the same cinematics later on. Because I think it would be great to have videos on like T-Squared, Ogre 1, and some of the other players that missed out on the top 25 videos.
Dude, imagine T-Squared. I'm sorry, I apologize, but I was just saying, imagine T-Squared's video between the Dr. Pepper, between the MTV, between like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Alex. Imagine how good that video.
Blurry. That's why they did it, man. The production, Ogre 1 and T2, they're just too old. They got the blurry footage. But yeah, going back to talking about the content and where we're at, like talking about Hall of Fame and all that jazz, this really acts as 3 different things. This is the beginning of a great content start for HCS, right? Like they're starting to just build on this. This is the beginning of a wonderful amount of stuff they're going to do for Infinite. I can already tell that they are locked in. They've already got a schedule for the next year. I bet they've got a roadmap for this content, and it's going to be brilliant. So this is the foundation for that. What do you do in a book? What do you do in a novel? What do you do in a movie? You set up your characters. You build on the relationships. You build on who they are. You develop them, and these are the characters in the story of Halo. And we're getting all of them. We're getting the entire history of who's done what, where they fit in, and what they're going for. Like, what is their legacy going to be like? And this is perfect for that. This is exactly what we needed for new players to come into Infinite and be able to check out all of this stuff, look at the list, and be like, okay, get a pretty good idea of like who the greatest are and who's still competing and who to watch out for and who to be a fan of, who to invest in, who to buy jerseys for. You know, that is what this is about, and it is totally selling on all of those points. These videos are tremendous, and the list really isn't too far off. Yeah, T-Squared at 17, a little disrespectful. But there's still a conversation for keeping Ogre 1 out. There's a conversation for having Lethal at number 1, Snakebite above Pistola. These are all valid points to be made. As upset as the fans are, the people that are biased towards their favorite pros, like myself. I love Ola to death. He will always be my favorite. He'll be my GOAT. But I totally recognize that there are going to be new players coming, and they're going to be just as GOATy.
I didn't know "goatee" was a word. I'm gonna use that from now on. I'm definitely 100% stealing that, and I'm just looking at this
Goatee
video
goats.
and just the plays that he was making, and then the passion. If I had a player like Pistola on my team, I feel like I don't even know how we would lose. Like he makes the plays and he just hypes you up. Oh my gosh! Like this, and that trophy is beautiful. That is a beautiful trophy.
It is very, very nice. I wonder who's got that in their room. I remember, I think maybe Ola does. I think maybe Ola has it behind him during his interviews. Can't remember.
Very good to see a good icon, right? Pistola here landing at number 4. It is unfortunate that he didn't land higher. A lot of people obviously got a bad taste in their mouth from this placing. But like Gary said, right, like, and Nighty and Tony, right, like, let's look at the bright side of all things. But, right, building these storylines now, getting these storylines started, explaining the history of Halo. It's very history. It's been a long esport, right? It's arguably one of the biggest in North America, since 2006. So it's really amazing to see like where we are now, and we just have to remind ourselves of that, especially right now, because Infinite is on the horizon, and I believe that we can bring this back, and it starts just like this.
Hype. This is going to be so controversial. Like, there's going to be so much. Just like Snakebite said, or put the panda dodging the bullets, man. Hey, that's exactly, and that's not fair at all. Like, there is no reason to come after Snakebite whatsoever. He didn't have any of these judges paid off. Come on now.
I mean, he's just as deserving, right? Like, he's had an incredible career, and I think it just shows that how much respect he's garnered from the entire scene because of his career, especially what he's done in Halo 5. Like, he is considered to be the leader of that team, and I think maybe some of the judges put a little bit more weight on his ability to be an in-game leader compared to Royal 2's ability or Royal 2's ability with the sniper, right? There's just some intangibles that you can't really get with showing off a 1.2 KD. Snakebite is considered probably to be a glue of whatever roster he's on because of his ability to IGL, and maybe that's why we'll see him at 3, or maybe we'll see him at 2 and we'll see Ogre 3 next week. I don't know, man. Will Ogre 3 next week?
Ooh,
Ogre 3
tomorrow.
Bro. Oh my God, there's gonna be
riots
tomorrow. Yeah, riots in the streets tomorrow.
Riots in the street.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna it is just gonna be the biggest impression day for HCS ever. Because everyone knows of Ogre 2. Like, you could have never played Halo in your life, and the name Ogre 2. That's how big he is in the culture of esports. So, but going back to Snakebite's impact, Snakebite deserving of 3rd. I totally agree with that. I think he would be deserving of 2, honestly, at this point. Like, if we're going to put Lethal in discussion for 1st, then put Snakebite up there as well, because being the greatest roster of all time, I mean, that is a huge deal. Being the general, being the guy that's putting in all of the work on the side, writing down strats and having a playbook, and being the guy that just does not stop working. Like, he doesn't have off days. Like, if you watch his stream, he's so precise about every single day. He does not have a single off day, period. That is unbelievable work ethic. And he's got a great mentality, a great attitude. He's so professional. He is a great face of Halo right now. And he's dad bite. Like, everybody looks up to him, respects his opinion, and when he gets upset about something, changes are made. So, his impact is, you can't question it. He is my overall best Halo player right now. I've said this for years, that Snakebite has consistently been the best overall player. He fills all of the spots better than anyone else.
Snakebite, he's the man with the plan. There's no doubt about it. Definitely, like, a great mind, and it's a pleasure to have him here in Halo. I feel like Sentinels, that roster, they're literally just like collecting the infinite stones, I'm gonna call them. But yeah, Tony, please fill us in on what you're about to say.
I was just saying, at the end of the day, it's a big congrats to Pistola. Been one of my favorite players to watch throughout Halo. When I first started watching competitive Halo back in Halo 3, he was one of the players that I love to watch, and I'm happy to see him on this list in the top 5 in the 4th place spot. Again, maybe could have been higher. Either way, I'm happy to see where he is right now, and I'm happy that this is being done for Halo, because without Halo, a lot. I know we have some Call of Duty fans out there. We have some Apex fans. We have some. Think about without Halo, these first-person shooters wouldn't be on the level that they are in esports. Halo kind of paved the way. Halo and MLG, and I said you can't tell Halo's story without Pistola. You can't tell the story of esports without Halo. So this content is really important, and I'm excited that we're doing it. And I don't think we're gonna see Ogre 2 and tomorrow. Come on, don't be crazy. We're not gonna see Ogre 2 tomorrow. Don't be crazy, 90. Come on.
Ogre second. Ogre
2. It was Destiny.
It's a good prediction. It makes it easier. We've got the numbers matching up with Pistola, his A at the end with 4, and then we've got Snakebite with his 3 in the name. Then we've got Ogre 2 for second, and then Lethal is too easy, having his L at the end be a number 1.
Ooh, I like that. I think we have a good grasp of everybody's predictions, but we do have a little bit of news to talk about, right? The Halo Infinite tech preview is coming out this weekend, and unbeknownst to everybody until the blog released yesterday, there's actually going to be 2 weekends in a row. They're splitting apart the 4v4 section. That's going to be this weekend, and they're going to add the 12v12 the weekend after. That's pretty damn hype if you ask me. I'm loving the fact that we get 2 consecutive weekends of Halo Infinite, and that is, it's such a blessing. Right, and speaking of these tech previews, we got some information here. We are going to be putting $1,000 down. The format is to be determined, but it'll likely be some form of a kill race. But we are putting $1,000 down for a certain select few of people, a select group of people. And it's going to be amazing. This is going to go down on September 26th. It's going to be Sunday. It's going to be the PM, the last multiplayer session. It's going to be starting at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. And like I said, the format's going to be up in the air. But guys, I want to know, how do you feel about a little $1,000 show match action?
Snakebite and Royal 2 dominated. They showed us what Infinite is going to be like. They gave us that little hint of it. They just really put on a massive show, and it was fantastic. I can't wait to see what they other top pros can do this time around. We're going to get the best of the best involved in it, and it's going to be hype.
Absolutely, Tony. I see you emoting down there. What's on your mind, man?
Yeah, you guys know how much I love Money Tuesdays and whatnot. The show matches, they're putting big money on the line. I didn't know about this, so I'm sorry. This is coming to a shock to me. I can't wait. I commentate tournaments, and I'm speechless right now. Gary, take it away. I'm sorry.
Boys, be here Sunday. It's gonna be awesome. $1,000 on the line. We cannot wait. Halo Infinite. We gotta see BRs, the commando, full auto precision rifles. We're gonna be seeing some awesome things. See who can come down with the most kills. Maybe we'll get a surprise. Maybe they'll give us like custom games for an hour or two. We'll see some actual action. But stay tuned to the Twitter. We're gonna have updates on there on who the competitors will be. I see Stress. I see Stress and Jay. Maybe we gotta make something happen. I don't know, Stress. At the DMs. We'll see what happens. But guys, be here Sunday. Halo Infinite's tournament for the second flight. We had one earlier. It was awesome. Royal 2 and Snakebite took it away. Who knows what happens this time around? We're gonna have some more PvP. People are gonna be more familiar with maps. We're gonna see some new things, and it's just gonna be a great time. Be here Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, we're 5 minutes past the half hour. I'm going to say that we've gone long enough in this discussion about number 4, Pistola. We all have good grasp of what our predictions are going to be for number 3, number 2, and number 1. We're going to get number 3 tomorrow at 10 o'clock Pacific, 12 o'clock Central, 1 o'clock Eastern. And then, of course, on Thursday, we're getting the reveal of number 1 and number 2 on the same day. I cannot wait. And I'm going to have my popcorn on Thursday for sure. I'm going to be sitting here just like this. I'm enjoying this, man. Honestly, Pistola lands at number 4. It's controversial. I love it. I think it's gold. Shout out to HCS right now with the Midas touch. That's gonna do it for today. So appreciate everybody coming out today. We're gonna be back tomorrow, so please join us. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button, and then click that little box that's gonna pop up for the yesterday's reveal. And so yeah, everybody have a good day. Everybody say adios.
Ola's my goat.
Boy.
Poor Pistola.